So still coming around. That's 090, coming up on 100. I'm looking for 101 right there. Okay, now let me go ahead and go to, this would have been channel 1. So let me go for channel 1. And let me go to the switch up here. And now I've got the needle swinging around, and this needle should stabilize right there within 2 or 3 degrees of a 0. Okay, I've got the Morse code coming in. And I didn't have, again, I couldn't find a good Morse code for the regular NDVs. This one is not an either inner or outer marker. I'm sure, actually I know for a fact there's another resource out there. I just don't have it loaded on my kneeboard right now that'll give me all the Morse codes for all the beacons everywhere, but I can make a fairly good assumption that this is the right one because I've got it pointing me in exactly the right direction. 101 off of Krasnodar for this beacon, and I'm flying at 800. My goodness, 800 true airspeed. So let me do some quick calculations here in my little electronic E6B. There's 800 kilometers per hour for a distance of, I would be about 40 kilometers at this point. So I've got 3 minutes, so it should be coming up right here in about 2 minutes, and it should just be right down below me, and then it's a right turn out to Makop, which will be out here in this area, getting into that sort of broken terrain. In fact, if you're watching the Cold War Warrior campaign, you've seen me do a lot of stuff like right here on the edge of the water feature right there. Let me go to the external view. Make sure I've got the right place. Actually, no, it's right up there to the, like the far extent, right across the aircraft from me, so that'd be right out there. So yeah, you've seen me hit some columns coming down that road. You see me almost get killed right there at that little turn in the road, and I've got I don't know, I might fly, no, it'll probably be next weekend that I actually fly another Cold War Warrior mission in the Sukhoi 25. Okay, my flight's still doing fine. I need to come a little bit left to overfly this, although I'm not really worried about directly overflying because I've got channel 2 coming up, and that's 288. So let me go ahead and go channel 1 off. And go channel 2 on. And this is going to get me on a direct shot to Makop. And that should have been just a slight right-hand turn to about 126. So yeah, slightly to the right. And let me see if I can identify this one. It'll be dot dash, dot dash, dot dash. If it'll come back for me. I think that was it. It's got to be. But that's fine. But since I am coming up on Makop very, very quickly, what I need to do is start to descend. I probably could have done that a long while ago and made this, set this up so that I was ready to land at Makop instead of just flying straight overhead. But speaking of Makop, yeah, there it is, right out there in the distance. So yeah, this is working. This is working just fine. I don't know if I'm finally learning how to navigate or if this system is just set up to be easier to use. But yeah, that went a lot better than it did in like the F-86 when I was using the NDVs and the other aircraft like that. And I think it is just that I'm starting to get a better feel of what's going on and exactly how to interpret everything that's going on in the cockpit as far as, you know, my heading, how to read the instruments properly, how to interpret the courses, and how to tell when I'm directly overhead a beacon. All the little stuff like that is just getting a lot easier for me as we go. And now HEC at Makop 395 is the wave number. So what I need to do is figure out, or actually 395 or 3.95 megahertz is the frequency. So I need to use wave number 150. I can barely read that. Is that 158? I'll find out here in a second. So let me stow this. We go for 158, which should be right there. Ooh, I'm kind of losing confidence. Maybe it was 153. Or not. Okay, so Okay, let me think about this for a second. I might need to pause and actually go to the PDF file to make sure I have the right wave number, but let me go to at least receive on 158 to see if this does anything for me, although I don't have any kind of a... I don't really have anything to listen to at this point. Okay, so that's 158 on the receiver. I was okay, there we go. Now we've got a signal strength up. So, let me, as a comms check, call MakeOp. So, ATC. Oh, goodness. What are you? You are... Krenskaya. You've got to be. Let me call inbound. Yeah, that's right. That's MakeOp. Okay, heading 075 for 26, runway 22 to pattern altitude. Okay, so runway 22 would be the one running from my left to right. So I'm just going to continue to descend and kind of enter the overhead pattern here. Okay, runway 22, 2931, so that should be... Well, it's giving me a QFE 2931. I would need to convert that to, not millibars, but whatever scale this is on. There's three different, it just goes off of, anyway, you know what I mean. I'd have to do some conversions. Okay, clear visual contact tower, and I'll wait a little bit to do that until I'm a little bit better set up. But I will go ahead and, if I have my guys, no, if I give them RTV right now, they'll go to this base because that's how it was set up in the, mission editor. So let me go ahead and go flight. Actually, I'm not going to get a response from my flight because I'm on a different frequency. So this is going to be kind of a logistical challenge to... Let me just verify that. Let me have them go to... Let me... why do I not have... Oh, okay, it's under Go to RTB. I was expecting it to be under navigation for some reason. And I'm not going to get a response because I'm not on 150. So let me go back to 150. And yeah, this is... the logistics of this is to be expected, but okay, so there's 150. Let me go flight, go to RTB. Okay, so I've got confirmation from 3 and 2. Actually, it should go 3, 4, and then 2. There's 2. Now I need to go back to 158. For the tower frequency, and 158 on my receiver. Okay, let me pop my head back up, make sure there's not a mountain in front of me. Okay, that's good. Now, okay, now I just need to remember how to land this thing. Let me go back to the checklist and run through the procedure one more time. I think it was back here in the yeah, there we go, landing. Now, all that I really need here are just the airspeeds that I need to worry about for the final. Okay, that's 2, I'll shoot for about 260. And then approach speed, yeah, approach at 260, touchdown at about 210. Okay, 260, 210. So, how am I doing right now? 450, that's just fine. Okay, so let me call the tower, request landing real quick. And let me go ahead and cut into my airspeed. See about getting some flaps and gear down once I'm down below, say, 350 kilometers per hour. That sounds pretty reasonable, although I think it did call out a specific airspeed for me. Okay, so I'll call that about good enough. I've got the speed brakes out, and I'm just holding them out at this point. Okay, so let me go flaps down. Yeah, and you can see as I have my speed brake out, I never noticed that, but there's the light that tells me that they're deployed. Okay, flaps are coming down. Let me go gear down. And go full flaps. Okay, I already got full flaps. Although I don't have anything on my flaps indicator telling me they're down. Something is amiss here. Okay, there we go. Now I've got the flaps coming. It could have just been an airspeed thing. Okay, so I've got the light coming on, telling me that I've got my flaps fully down. I've got my gear down and locked. That's 3 green. I think I can go back to the neutral position and re-lock this. I will, in fact. Just so that I don't inadvertently pull my my gear back up. Okay, there's the outer marker. which is exactly, yeah, that's what we were guiding on. You can see that we are overflying it right now. I've got the beacon light on, and it's swinging back around. I need to push it back up to get my generator back up. Just need to come right a little bit, maintain my airspeed. Coming up on the inner marker. And there's 250. That's just fine. I think it was 260 on the approach, 210 on the touchdown. A little bit more nose up. Okay, 250, still maintaining it. Okay, and just need to remember that if I do get into a bind, okay, there's inner marker. If I get into a bind, it's going to take a long time for that engine to spool up. So I just need to really focus on not getting too slow on this approach. And err on the side of fast, because I can always go around. I don't have to push to make this work, although this is going to work out just fine. Now I can pull my throttle back in. I'm going to land a little bit long. Like I said before, you get a lot of lift out of this aircraft, and it really floats and keeps on going. So let me just hold it off. Okay, perfect. 200, 210, I think it was on the touchdown. We pull the throttle on back in, extend the speed brakes to get me slowing down. Much better landing than the last time, that's for sure. And I don't even need to get on the brakes at all. I'm just kind of letting it run out. And I'll need to start doing a little bit of differential braking because my rudder is going to lose authority here pretty soon. So, yeah, plenty of time to get this thing slowed down on the runway. So, yeah, wow, learned a lot about the navigation system this time around. Now, whether or not I'm going to retain all of that, because really the point of me doing all these test flight series is, in theory, it's getting me ready to fly a mission or to fly the campaign, but what I'm finding is that it's so rare now for a module to have a campaign or have, you know, really good missions included with them, especially when they're released in open beta. And, you know, that's a broad general statement. The stuff does follow eventually, but it'll probably be a while, in fact, before I fly the MiG-15 again. I might try another, you know, there were some user-created missions out there, or one in particular was like a 12 versus 12 MiG versus F-86 intercept that I might do, just now that the MiG is fresh in my mind, but it's to be expected. I mean, it takes a lot of time to put together and to develop high-quality missions, the kind that I like to fly with the good briefings and the, thought that goes into a good mission by the mission designer. But yeah, I really wish that there were some more stuff for the F-86 and the MiG-15 at this point, but it's still enjoyable just to fly and just to take it for what it's worth. It's just a remarkable simulation that we get out of these, of the aircraft and the aircraft systems. This one in particular, I don't know if it was that the systems were just more well modeled than I was used to, but you saw all the detail that I went into on this one in particular, and yeah, it was just a joy to get into. And part of it is that as I do these, I'm learning more and more about aircraft, and I can pick up on a lot of the nuance that is included by the developers now that I just couldn't pick up on before because I didn't know to look for it. And I suspect that's a lot to do with how long this test flight series has taken and how much detail I've gone into in the aircraft. But I guess to make a long story short, even though there isn't a campaign or like a full mission set released with this at this point, it's still, yeah, I've still enjoyed it. I feel like I've absolutely gotten my money's worth out of this, even if I'm not going to do a whole lot more with it for now. So let me just take it around here, and I think I'm finally starting to get the hang of taxiing at low speed. You just have to think ahead a lot, and well, it helps not to talk as well. But okay, so straighten out, and I'm just going to park it right here and go to the shutdown procedure. Actually, I'm not even going to use the procedure. I'm just going to hold the brakes, pull my throttle back in to about 5,000 RPM, and let me just start to shut stuff down. Now, starting with my navigation equipment, okay, let me go off on it, and back up on the throttle a touch just to get the generator kicked back in. Okay, so navigation system was off. What else did I need to do? Okay, radio system, there was really nothing that I did with it other than just switch some settings back there, so there's really nothing more to do with it. Actually, one thing I want to test right here, I want to test what happens when I turn more than one switch on. Okay, so there's all 3 switches on. And now I've got the thing going around. I think if this just kind of continues in a continuous loop, I think I'm going to know that I have, okay, just snapped back around to something there. Either way, that was weird, whatever it just did. So I think I might have just broken the system. We turn them all 3 off. And let me just see if I can go back to the antenna mode and see what happens when I try to pick something else up. Nothing. I'm getting nothing. I think that's cool. I think I just did fry the system, which is exactly what I was trying to do with that. I was just checking the theory and seeing if that would actually damage it. It looks like it did. So let me turn it off. With apologies to all the crew chiefs, or the, or actually no, it would be the avionics, the specialists that would be mad at me right now for breaking their system. But yeah, that's cool. Okay, now let me start to get some switches off. So I'll go ARC off, radar altimeter off. Try to at least. Okay, got that switch, got this switch. Okay, off, 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 off. Generator I'll leave on. Battery I'll leave on as well. Now I need to go back to idle on the throttle. I need to go fuel cutoff, valve closed. And while I'm here, I'll go ahead and shut off my oxygen supply. And I will depressurize. I should have done this first. No harm in it though. And now let me get the canopy open. Just breathe the fresh air for a minute or two. Okay, I've got the engine spooling back down. Let's see, I'll go off my aileron hydraulic boost. I'll just make sure, I shouldn't have left that up like that. I meant to go to the neutral position. Okay, neutral on my gear handle. Let's go off, 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 and off. And now I can go generator off and battery off and get out of the aircraft. So folks, I think this is going to wrap up this part of the test flight series. I'm not going to completely end this, just in case new features or new weapons configurations are added at some point in the future, and there's something that I want to re-engage. But it's the last MiG-15 video for a while, I believe. So I had a lot of fun putting it together. This is a great aircraft. Highly recommended this, and I suspect that you feel the same way if you're still watching at this point. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.